Would you say that the problem is fully understood? You made reference to the issue in Kaduna. Would you say that the issues that those in southern Kaduna faced are the same that those in Benue are facing?
Yes, it's pretty similar. It's pretty similar because it's all about a group of people believing that their means of livelihood supersedes every other interest and are ready to kill a human being because of a cow.
You made reference to foreign herdsmen, citing what the Northern Governors Forum, had come up with.
Yes.
Would you say that that is what is happening in Benue, or would you say the problem is a little more local? People will always say that we've lived with this local herdsmen and they've given us no issue.
Yes, but yes, I could say that it's also something we are wondering because, yes, a couple of these herdsmen have been in the area for some time, but that probably has given room for others to infiltrate their ranks. And now that is where the problem is. So unless we categorically start to apprehend these people and identify them, which is what we're not doing, because it's funny that the police quickly apprehends those who kill the herdsmen, but these herdsmen kill and leave without a trace and are not apprehended, so we're not being able to properly identify who they are. But, and this is something that in Benue State we want to make categorically clear, that our state is not welcome to the issue of grazing routes. There are no grazing routes that can be found in Benue. We believe ranches are the solution to this crisis. We believe there should be a national confab of some sort, like I said, to properly highlight and intimate all stakeholders about the issues and the solutions so that those who start to violate them are apprehended by the security agencies. The security agencies, the military in particular, should set up a special team that they will deploy with immediate effect, because in Nigeria right now it seems as if we no longer attach importance to human life. Even if one Nigerian is killed, it's important enough for that to raise concern for our government. But now there's wanton killing of Nigerians and then we just look the other way because it hasn't come near us. And this is something in Benue we're saying is no longer acceptable. Because
considering the erratic nature, because it would seem, you'll hear 1 minute, Agatu's issue was really prolonged. After
yes.
that, we saw that, it was seen that there was a lull for a while. And then again, you'll hear sporadic attack here and there. Then attention shifted to, I think, Kaduna for a while. And then you still get pockets of violence here and there, perhaps in Adamawa, in Taraba in some instances. But it would look like Benue had been quiet for a while, only for us to hear again about this attack. What do you think is informing the sporadic nature of the attacks that we get to hear every now and again?
Okay, one of the issues is the nature of our climate as well. Through certain periods of the year, they migrate to certain parts as well to seek greener pasture. And then when it starts to when they start to have a lull in that, they move to other locations. And of course, there's also the part of the intervention of the state governor, like I've just said. That also contributed a lot in maintaining the peace and the calm. In my community where I come from, the Civilian Joint Task Force has been able to set up little, communal attempts at resolving any altercations that arise, because you'll be surprised at the number of cows that you would even see in people's farms. But it's as if we have nothing to do about it. So that intervention by the state has helped a lot. But then when they start to now come back, because as we approach the rainy seasons, this is where they believe they'll get greener pasture. That is when you start to see more of these attacks start to arise. Okay. Because in their nature, they are nomadic. So it is also important to note that currently in the Middle Belt region, we're losing about $13.7 billion in possible revenue because of these attacks.
$13.7 billion?
Yes.
Dollars, did
yes.
you say?
Yes.
How were you able to calculate that?
This is from statistics given by an international organization called Mercy Corps, who have done an analysis of the farming potential in these areas and how that has been affected over the years from these incessant attacks and the losses of the crops of our people from the grazing by this cattle. So this is also an opportunity we're going to use now to make a formal request that we too in this region need to be considered for a national Middle Belt and other related areas development commission, because this issue does not seem to want to abate. So in terms of handling the reconstruction, the rehabilitation, and managing the relationship in these circumstances, I don't think it is out of place for us to start to make this demand.
Have you bounced that off your colleagues? How's the system with them?
Well, we're in the process of bringing a formal, bill in that regard before the House.
Okay.
Because we think it's necessary. And let me re-emphasize what I said earlier, that the federal government, which quickly set up a victim support fund in the Northeast, has not deemed it necessary to do something similar with regards to herdsmen's attacks. And we find that to be very questionable, and that is something we're also making a clarion call for immediately, that there needs to be immediate intervention in reconstruction and rehabilitation of our areas and resettlement of our people.
Okay, Honorable, just before we go, would you like to quickly tell us where we are or where you are with, the matter which the United States Embassy did raise with the House of Reps in conjunction with your visit to the U.S. some time ago?
Okay, fortunately, I think most of Nigerians now know that no evidence of any sort was provided by the U.S. Embassy or the U.S. State Department, which corroborated our claim that no such event occurred. So on the basis of that, then there's a new ambassador of the U.S. now in Nigeria, and I'll use this medium to appeal to him to quickly look into this matter. The Foreign Affairs Minister has been magnanimous. The Foreign Affairs Committee in the House have also tried to interface with him in this regard. They have not been forthcoming in a formal response. But for me, as a person, I am going to resort to legal action because I need all these false records expunged, and I will be pushing for compensation for defamation of character because all those allegations were false, unfounded, and all the lawyers I've spoken to in the U.S. are all alarmed.
So you are seeking legal redress?
Yes.
But you're going to be in Nigeria while you're doing it because
yes.
Your visa has still not been...
It has still not been reinstated.
Reinstated?
Yes.
Okay.
It has still not been reinstated. So that is the only alternative we have. And the other mediums of communication, of course. But if the judge deems it fit to have us come, they'll have to give us a special waiver to come and appear before him in the U.S.
Okay. Honorable, that's where we'll have to leave it this morning. Thank you so much for coming on Sunrise Daily.
Thank you, Malcolm.
We'll be speaking with Honorable Mark Gbillah, who is representing Gwe East and Gwe West constituencies in Benue State of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Well, that's how we'll leave it on Sunrise Daily this morning. That will be it from us here in Abuja. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maokbe Ogun. It's back to you now, Chamberlain and Gimba in Lagos.
And yes, indeed, we will be getting across the customs as well, and we'll give you the feedback that they give to us as soon as we get them. Well, that's the show as well. Well, thank you all for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
And I am Gimba Umar.